Alrighty guys, we're back for Illicit Reanimator, and this is an Outlaws with under Junction Standard brew, and I'm Redcat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a suggestion down in the comments, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. It was essentially to try out Illicit Masquerade, so that's what we're gonna do. It's a 4-mana enchantment with flash. When it ETBs, you put an imposter counter on each creature you control. Now, whenever a creature you control with an imposter counter on it dies, you exile it, return up to one other target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. A very interesting ability. So what you actually have to do though is have enough creatures on the board as well as enough creatures in your graveyard to make this all worthwhile, right? I'm going to try to go a little bit wide with all 4 wedding announcements packed in. Just generating those extra tokens should go the extra mile with the Masquerade. It's a similar concept with the Sunset Revelry, at least for the first set of humans off the Revelry. Outside of that, like the extra life gain and everything you get from this card happens to be pretty good, huh? Now, you do have other creatures packed in. Of course, what are we going to want to reanimate with the Masquerade? Well, we'll go over our top end first, huh? We have Etali, of course, making the cut as a one-of. We have all 4 Vein Rippers, as this is very much a Vein Ripper build. So, 6 mana, 6/5. Flying, ward, sacrifice a creature. My goodness. Whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That is gonna be perfect in here, dude. Now, with all 4 Vein Rippers comes the push and the pool, huh? So the 6 mana side of this pool is sorcery speed. You put up to 2 target creature cards from a single graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. They gain haste until end of turn, sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. So we know how powerful it is to pull 2 Vein Rippers out of the grave and then they sacrifice themselves, get that ability off the bottom too. I'll tell you what, man, that is a lot of damage all of a sudden. Also, the push side of things just acting as more early removal too. Anyways, I was supposed to be going over our top end creatures. We do have a couple more top end that we don't mind reanimating, like Rakdos the Muscle, for example. A 5 mana 6/5 legendary creature, flying, trample, beautiful. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, exile cards equal to its mana value from the top of target player's library until your next end step. You may play those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells as well. So, unfortunately, a lot of the things that we're going to be sacrificing in here are probably going to be tokens. But you never know, you might end up sacrificing some of your top end, like sacrificing a Vein Ripper might not be unheard of here. The bottom ability on Rakdos is sacrifice another creature. Rakdos gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it, activate only once each turn as well. Really interesting card. We got a couple of them because I really want to see it do a thing today. We also have Rakdos joins up. Wait a minute, I still want to finish going over the rest of the creatures. We have Aclazotes in here. I really like how Aclazotes pairs with the push and pull as well. If you pull an Aclazotes out of the grave and then it sacrifices itself at the end, of course, when Aclazotes dies, you return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed as a Temple of the Dead. So I just think that's really interesting. I also just think like having flying and lifelink, just pretty much everything about Aclazotes is pretty darn good. So I think it's going to do the thing in here. Okay, now we'll finish going over the rest of the top end, huh? So we have Rakdos joins up. This is a 5 mana legendary enchantment. When Rakdos joins up ETBs, you return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. And then also whenever a legendary creature you control dies, Rakdos joins up deals damage equal to that creature's power to target opponent. Nice. No, we don't have too many legendaries packed in, but between Etali and Rakdos and the Aclazotes, there's a little bit. You never know if that bottom ability is actually going to pull something off, you know? We also have Virtue of Persistence, with that adventure side acting as more spot removal. Speaking of spot removal, we have all 4 Bitter Triumphs helping us put those important creatures into our grave ready to reanimate. Speaking of putting important things into the grave ready to reanimate, we also have Bitter Reunion in here too. Maybe, potentially, if we're reanimating with some of these other things like Masquerade or Rakdos joins up, maybe giving haste to some key creatures and winning a turn sooner. So we have a whole bunch of board wipes packed in too, because once we actually get the Masquerade down, instead of like just sacrificing our creatures, there's always the option to wipe the board and then just reanimate a whole bunch of stuff that way too. We have a couple Path of Perils. We do have a Pest Control to try out in here. This is a 2 mana sorcery speed. It does have cycling for 2, so that's pretty good. Destroy all non-land permanents with mana value 1 or less. Nice. Against the right build, yeah, that's definitely going to do a thing. We have one final showdown in here, as well as a couple no witnesses. I think there are going to be moments where we actually are the ones investigating in this deck. So, guys, I thought about the mana base for quite some time. Hopefully, I landed on something good. It is a lot of tap lands, though, as well as some of the surveil lands, of course, right? Restless Vents could help us discard a card and draw a card as well. But yeah, a whole bunch of tapped lands. My goodness, a couple Mirrex in here are noteworthy as well. No honorable mentions today, guys. Let's go ahead and save the rest of the discussion for the end of the video. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take it into some ranked and see how we do. Right into that first game, guys. Let's go. All right, what am I expecting from the list? Should be pretty janky, man. But you never know sometimes. Okie dokies. We go first. I like this hand. I'm keeping this. Oh, we should have 27 land in here, by the way. It is a very expensive list. Like, we're going to want to see our 5th mana in no time, you know? Path of Peril, huh? We don't know what we're up against yet. But I'm going to keep it just in case. Yeah, I don't see a reason to send it when that could always be what we end up discarding to like the Bitter Triumph or something too. I'm also going to keep the mana on top. Yeah. Well, pretty good lineup in our hand right now. We actually got our turn 3 wedding announcement too. Hopefully that's not like a Spell Pierce. It is not a Spell Pierce. That's good news. Yeah, I don't mind this lineup at all. Hopefully the opponent plays something for us to hit, though. Celestis. Ew. Okay. So Fortress comes down. Sunset Revelry looking a little awkward right now, huh? I guess we'll go for the swing, and we're just going to keep, like, Bitter Triumph open. And that's it. Get another 1-1 from the announcement. Goes to nighttime. I don't think it was worthwhile trading out the Revelry, right? Right? Because we would have drawn a card off the bottom ability, but that's it. Yeah, this hand is very much suited to go up against aggro, huh? So this will be interesting. Going up against Jeskai Control is my guess. From Host Seed Shark. Okay, here we go. Some targets. But the question is, do I do that? Do I Bitter Triumph now? I guess so, right? I'm just going to take the 3. Pay 3. Yeah, while they're tapped out, that makes sense. And they're not completely tapped out. They did have Celestis, so that could have been something, by the way. 5th mana isn't terrible. I think I'm going to go for the swing. Sure, why not, right? Let's do this. Not a bad swing at all. Okay, the draw was a Backstreet. Another Seed Shark. Celestis still open. No 4th mana for the opponent. Illicit Masquerade, okay. And we don't have any of our top end in the grave quite yet. See if we can get one there. Abandoned Mire could also help us get some... maybe I should keep that on top. Okay, I'll keep it on top. Now, if they end up... Okay, how do I want to do this? Yeah, not too much in the grave. It's a little awkward. You can power up the Restless Fortress again in full swing. See where they block. They probably just block a human, take the 3 and the other 2 from the Fortress. And second opponent, I am pondering, my friend. Yeah, Virtue doesn't hit the Seed Shark. Well, yet, huh? I guess we could go for the swing and then take it out that way. They might just take this, by the way. They could anticipate the Virtue. Get down to 13. Virtue's going to hit the shark now. Gain a little bit of life, and I guess that's it? Yeah? That was a worthwhile turn, I would say. Getting the Seed Shark, 2 Seed Sharks off the board Seems pretty good for us, especially when the opponent missed mana last turn. They might miss it again here. Seed Shark, number 3. All right. Well, so this has been a silly game so far, huh? I would have loved to see the Illicit Masquerade do something right away, but yeah, not too much in our grave. Maybe we start with the Abandoned Mire and see what we see. With the couple board wipes, just doesn't feel that great right now. We'll still have 2 mana open. I kind of want to do this on our turn because I don't really know why I want to do it on our turn. Oh no, a complete miss. Oh, we might need to talk about more top end right away, huh? We could draw on the Revelry. What else are we going to do with it, you know? Get a couple 1/1s, I guess. Maybe they let the 2 go through now that they know that we have Virtue of Persistence. They do not let the 2 go through. Oh, I guess I'll draw and get a couple 1/1s then. Alright, like, so far not too bad, I guess. The opponent missing mana definitely sucks, though. That's pretty rough. But they do have 4 open. More mana. Well, I guess we start with the Surveil for sure, right? No, I should probably send that. We definitely want to see more. I don't mind seeing Restless land, though. But I want to see my top end, you know? For sure. And the Bitter Triumph, or we could just full swing again. I think the Restless Fortress might get picked up by removal. I'm just going to try to take out... We'll pay the 3 life. We're going to try to take out the Chrome Host Seed Shark, see if they have some protection for it. I'm not too concerned about protection at this point. So they go negate, and they still have 2 open to power up the Incubator too. So we're just going to keep these 2 cards back. I guess at some point we're going to want to try the Flash Illicit Masquerade. Even though we don't have anything in the grave, like it still might be good to get it onto the board and get the imposter counters onto our creatures too, right? All right, end turn. Like so far, our deck hasn't been too bad. We just need to actually get the reanimation part going. I was thinking while they're tapped out, maybe we drop this, but I wouldn't mind if they countered the Illicit Masquerade. They do find their 4th. All right, there they go. Now they do have 5 total. Zergo. Oh, crap, dude. We're in trouble, huh? Been a while since we saw this version of Jeskai Control. All right, well, they just swing with that, huh? Okay. Down to 14. I believe we are in danger officially. We're going to need to figure something out. It might just be Virtue. Might be Virtue next turn to try to establish something, anything on the board, right? And then we can start grabbing those Chrome Host Seed Sharks as well. We'll get the Illicit Masquerade down. At least we played the card, right? Vein Ripper. All right. That's what I'm talking about, dude. No great way to get it into the grave, but it's probably pretty good to play right now while they're tapped out, right? Rocking a counterspell into the Vein Ripper wouldn't be too bad. Maybe we'd be able to bring it back then. Now, this is pretty good, dude. I think we just play this. See what happens, right? I guess we save both of those back, right? Yeah. That would not be a great swing. By any means. Pretty neat so far. Oh, opponent found more mana. It was only a matter of time. They probably have like 26 mana in there. Or more. Oh, Sunfall. Opponent, you monster. I suppose we probably should have expected that at some point, huh? Oh no. That's pretty bad. All right, send the land for sure. Get Virtue of Persistence down. We might still be able to pull this back. I'll tell you what though, this Zergo and Ojutai is going to be a big problem. Because our Yeah, we don't have... Well, even at instant speed removal, it comes down and it has hexproof. Yeah, it's going to be a huge problem. Oh, also super chunky incubator tokens from the Sunfall here. Because the Seed Shark gave them one, and then the Sunfall gave them another. So we're going down to 4, and then we probably die next turn from the Zergo and Ojutai. Oh no, guys, oh no. So we're going to reanimate, but unfortunately we're going to have to wipe the board anyways. Or try to. They have 3 mana open, so it could be a counterspell. Illicit Masquerade. Still nothing in the grave. So... No More Witnesses gives them a clue, but plays around a No More Lies. We'll still have 4 open. Path of Peril. Oh! These are tokens. Oh, Path of Peril for sure then. For sure. Do we have enough mana to swing first? We do, actually. No, we wouldn't want to do that, because then that would pick up the rest. Okay, so we're gonna start with this, right? Destroy all creatures, and then this still plays around... Still plays around the No More Lies, and it doesn't pick up the Chrome Host Seed Shark because it's 2 or less. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I want to make sure I do it all in the right order for sure. Yeah, we could have a pretty big swing. Go back up to 6, survive the turn. No More Lies means we won't be able to power up the Restless Fortress for the turn, but we should definitely still do this, right? They'll have 2 open. That doesn't mean anything, though. Chrome Host Seed Shark can... Yeah, if we let the 5/5 survive, we die anyways. So unfortunately, we do have to pay that. We will have the Incubator on the ground. 2. I guess that could have potentially blocked. Either way, we have to block in the air, so probably Zergo, and then some simple spot removal would wrap up this game for them, huh? Let's see what ends up happening here. I almost overlooked the fact that the Path of Peril was going to take out their 5/5s easily. That is definitely enough mana to win the game this turn, so I do think that's what's going to happen here. Oh, we might have a good block. Oh. Okay, I'm going to block. Am I missing something here? Maybe they're going to do, like, burn on the Chrome Host Seed Shark just to get it out of the equation. It is going to be burn. Huh. Okay. And then the Zergo bounces back to hand, unfortunately. We can't get that Chrome Host Seed Shark any higher than that 3. So not a bad turn for the opponent, I would say. Power up the Incubator. And they still have the 1 from the Celestis. Grab the Chrome Host Seed Shark back. Is it daytime or nighttime? It is daytime. Yeah, establishing this virtue of persistence is pretty darn good. It's too bad we're not bringing bigger things back like our Vein Ripper and stuff. They're going to be discarding the other Zergo. Oh, also, they kept the Zergo and Ojutai on the board. That is definitely noteworthy here. Okay, well, we need to gain past the... Okay. So it's probably going to be power up Restless Fortress. They only have 1 mana open. I think we have a good swing here, and we are going to full swing. It's a really good swing, actually. And then we do have the Illicit Masquerade, which we could do now. The only thing we have open anyways. So I'm going to do it now, so that way the Restless Fortress also gets the imposter counter. Which is pretty cool, man. Like, we're totally doing a thing right now. Going back up to 6 means spot removal on the Chrome Host Seed Shark won't be our demise. The Zergo and Ojutai is only a 4/4. Outside of that, this could be very dangerous for them. Power up another Incubator next turn. Like, everything they do this turn really matters. Oh, also, since they discarded the Zergo and Ojutai, we could bring that back too. with the Virtue of Persistence. Wait, when did they discard this? Did I overlook the Zurgo and Ojutai? Oh, crap, dude. They go full power Final Showdown. Oh, crap. And the Illicit Masquerade exiled the Chrome Host Seed Shark. Luckily, I think we won. We bring back the Zurgo and Ojutai and power up the Restless Fortress, and that's it. They only have the Celestis open. The Zurgo and Ojutai has haste. Power up the Restless Fortress. Swing for 9, right? Oh, power up this too. Just in case, right? I guess their one Celestis could be something. GG opponent, bro. They missed mana for a while there. That is definitely noteworthy. But they were still playing things even as they were missing the mana. I think they missed mana 2 turns in a row. Oh, I clicked through it on accident. Darn it, guys. I wanted to look at their graveyard and everything. Cool deck opponent. Very awesome that we were able to get there with our Mardu Reanimator mid-range. It was definitely doing the mid-range thing that game. That feels pretty good, man. That was good. We definitely did not miss the mana that whole game, but a lot of the tap lands kind of slowed us down, kind of balanced out with the opponent missing land there a little bit. Just a little bit, though. Had they seen mana right away, I think that would have potentially just been theirs, you know? We got a little lucky, potentially. All right, I'm going to give this a shot. We have the turn 2 Bitter Reunion. Start with the Surveil. Rakdos the Muscle. Let's put it in the grave just for the sake of having something to reanimate this time round, huh? And hopefully the opponent isn't playing too much like Graveyard Hate or something. Okay, Bitter Reunion. We'll get rid of one of the Shattered Sanctum, as we're just going to draw more land at some point anyways. What do we see? So they decided not to counter there. We draw a lot more land. Okay, with Virtuoso, it might not be a counter-style deck, huh? With their one open, that could easily be Tamiyo's Safekeeping, which does protect it from the Path and the Bitter. Triumph. We have a lot of bitter things in here, so I should probably say the full name, right? So on that, we're just going to keep the Bitter Triumph open, spot removal, and then go for the Backstreet since it's the tap land in the hand. Etali. Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's send it to the grave. And then hopefully we actually see the things that let us reanimate this game too, right? Okay. Sending it back to the opponent. Because we could totally keep that on top. We have 7 mana total in hand, but might not survive long enough to actually get there, huh? So we could try the Bitter Triumph before, but yeah, because they could draw into some protection for the Virtuoso. Either way, we want them to use their protection this turn, so that way we can drop like a Path of Peril next turn. That's the goal here. And instead of taking 3, we might discard one of the lands. I'm going to go for the swing. Let's see, would have liked to see them spend a little bit more on this Virtuoso. I am going to discard instead of taking the 3, because this could be a very dangerous list. Let's see some protection here, and hopefully the protection is going to be them tapping out as well. It's going to be Royal Treatment, and they still have an island open, guys. Big damage from the opponent, going down to 10 here. I don't think they're going to spend that island. Oh, no. Okay. It also has Ward now, too, but... So which one do we want to go for here? Do we want to go for the Path of Peril or the No Witnesses? I think No Witnesses makes sense. Give them the Investigate now, and then later on, if we need to, we could drop the 6-mana Path of Peril. That doesn't make sense, actually, does it? Which one makes more sense here? Really don't know. I guess no witnesses. Wait, we die next turn if we don't remove this Virtuoso. Either way, we're not playing around a Spell Pierce. Yeah, either way. I guess let's go Path of Peril then. See what happens. Good game, opponent. Oh, that was really fast and effective and easy for the opponent, huh? So what could I have done to try to get around that? I have no idea. I really don't. Maybe... Good game, opponent. Virtuoso builds still looking so freaking cool, man. And when they got it, dude, because, like, I have no idea what we could have done. That's one maybe to go back and rewatch. Maybe there was something early that we could have done. Maybe I should have waited on the Bitter Triumph. Maybe I should have done the Bitter Triumph before the Connive. Give the opponent less draws. I don't know if that would have worked out. Yeah, the goal there, of course, was to get them to spend as much mana as possible before dropping the Bitter Triumph, and maybe that didn't work out for us. Well, either way, that time round, we were able to get some big creatures into the grave ready to reanimate, but the opponent just did the thing a little bit too fast. So I guess if that blue source wasn't something, I mean, we'd definitely still be in it if we were able to get rid of the Virtuoso for the turn. Because, you know, Virtuoso doesn't have haste or anything. Only 2 mana. 27 mana packed in, so 25 more lands just waiting to be drawn. No red source in hand. How much do we need the red source? Not too much. We're really just splashing red in here for some like later pieces and the Bitter Reunion too. Opponent goes first. That should be scary enough, huh? Alright. I'm going to keep it just for the sake of testing the deck to its limits, but if it's mono red, man, we're probably going to get run over pretty fast, just as fast as that Virtuoso just did. Potentially Boros, huh? Alright, let's get that Surveil. I guess I'll keep that, right? That's our red source. It definitely doesn't help the speed of the list. Oh, Boros. Okay, this No Witnesses is going to be pretty good. And the Final Showdown. Actually, all of the board wipes should come in handy. As long as we can get to them in time. Okay, make sure we get the tap land down. And then Shattered Sanctum will start coming in untapped. We're going to go Wedding Announcement. We need to survive that turn. And then drop the No Witnesses. This would be a perfect time to see one of our earlier board wipes, right? Vein Ripper isn't bad, though. We could keep the Bitter Triumph open instead. Alright. It's going to be Wedding Announcement, though. I'm going to just set up. We're going to get a chump blocker instead of, like, the Bitter. And then we just need to survive this turn to get a really good board wipe. Oh, crap, dude. Are we going to survive? So we have the chump, and then we are taking 10. We survive. Nice. Well, I guess we don't have to chump, but we should chump because we're going to wipe the board. Down to 6. The War Leader's Call is just going to be over there dealing damage to us every single turn now. We're going to need to gain some life here soon. So now we have the chump blocker on the ground if they have something hasty. Now mana off the top, get Aclyzotes down, get that lifelink rolling, right? We have a lot of our top end creatures. Sanguine Evangelist, nice. So we're going down to 4 here, guys. We're in big trouble. The 5th is not untapped, which is, I mean, that's very likely in this list. But the Surveil's pretty good. We don't need the land, especially the tap land. So we're going to send that. We could power up Vents to block on the ground too. Losing a land in the only red source could be pretty bad though. We're probably just going to keep the Bitter Triumph open. This could be a little awkward. I'm going to put a stop at the opponent's first main phase. That way we hit the Evangelist before the swing. We have to remember the extra spree things on the final showdown too. Like having all creatures lose abilities could be interesting, but I think we're going to just need to save this as a 6-mana board wipe. I think we're in big trouble too. I think we might just die next turn anyways, honestly. With the War Leader's Call out there, this is going to be very tricky to survive without having the life gain on the Aclizotes. Could be like another Gleeful Demolition. Oh, Emodane's Recruiter. Yep. That's a problem. We don't have a blocker in the air. We might have to take out the bat rather than... Actually, that's exactly what we got to do. We are forced to take out the bat here. Okay, discard a card, target the bat. This is a little awkward because... Yeah. Okay. So Vein Ripper. I guess Rakdos is the discard. We're holding on for dear life here, guys. This is definitely a full swing from the opponent as Evangelist dies and gets them another bat into the air. And we are forced to block both, being at 3. They get the bat in the air. An untapped land could mean a board wipe. Down to 2. I guess a board wipe doesn't really matter right now, huh? Untapped source means Vein Ripper, but it should still be Aclizotes, right? So we saw the land out of order. The untapped land first for the Aclizotes last turn into... that way we actually had the life gain for last turn too. Into like the tapped land. That would have been much, much better, huh? Yeah, I believe it's still the Aclizotes. As cool as the Vein Ripper would be, this is a 5/5 lifelink. Would have been so good last turn. Oh, good game, opponent. Ah. Honestly, had we seen things in a little different order there, I think we could have pulled that back. And I think we could have pulled that back really well too, huh? What do you guys think? Yeah, once the War Leader's Call came down, though, we don't have many ways to deal with the War Leader's Call in here, outside of just gaining life at an effective rate. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the deck kind of still felt okay, honestly. And when you're going up against Boros, too, like, that's like Boros like that is so powerful. So if you can actually survive long enough, yeah. Still kind of feels good, you know? So there's 2 things that we really desperately want to do today. 1 is actually reanimate something, and 2 is maybe actually use that Masquerade to reanimate as well. Oh my. Oh. Oh no. Did we try this? I get like, what goes first? The Sunset Revelry would have been so good against that Boros list. Oh my goodness. Maybe we're like actually well equipped to handle Boros. I'm gonna give this a shot. I don't think it's... At first, I thought it was pretty bad, but now I don't think it's that bad. We'll see, we'll see. Like, we have the Surveil on the Backstreet turn 1 too, so... And the Parlor, apparently. Let's get the Backstreet down. Push and pull. I'm going to keep it. It's extra early removal if we're desperate. Oh, nothing from the opponent, huh? Well, at that point, I see no real reason to keep the Bitter Triumph open for the turn. So maybe we'll just go... No, I shouldn't. I should keep the Bitter Triumph open, because there might be a really good 3-drop that we want to hit immediately. Questing Druid, alright. Heartflame Duelist. Let's see that 3-drop opponent. I guess they'd want to do 3 mana, deal 3 damage to our face off the Heartflame Duelist before that goes away. And it goes over there too. But we didn't end up using the untapped source that we got. But now we still do the Parlor this turn, and we'll still have Bitter Triumph open. And that's still, like, fine and dandy. Surveil, Final Showdown. Oh crap, dude. I don't know what to send and what to keep, but I think I like Final Showdown based on what the opponent has shown over there. It might be like Naya Burn or something wild. Yep, just keeping the Bitter Triumph open. Totally fine. Opponent could drop the 4th mana, drop 2 creatures this turn. Maybe we hit one with Triumph, discard Rakdos, getting ready for the pool. Play that, get a +1/+1 counter. Which one do we want to hit here? Which one's more dangerous? Actually don't really know. Probably the Heartflame Duelist for now. We're gonna discard. I guess this is fine. Let's do the Rakdos the Muscle. It's a tough decision because Questing Druid could get out of hand pretty fast. Okay, so we have the Mirrex for the turn. Let's get that down and established. No worries about it. We might need the... No, we should be fine. No. Yeah. I'm going to play the Plains for now, just in case. I'm going to go Sunset Revelry. Restless Vents, huh? So I could have played this instead, but... Oh, push his sorcery speed too. That's right. So if we went Sunset Revelry against the Heartflame Duelist, this is a 3-1, so we do have better blockers against the Duelist. So maybe it was the Druid to pick up there instead of the Bitter Reunion instead of the Duelist. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, if we didn't play the land, we wouldn't have gotten the card draw, right? The opponent had... Oh, right. They had 6 cards in hand. Okay. Yanalar. Nice, dude. I'll tell you what, man. The opponents have been bringing just a ton of fun to the table recently for me. Okay, Final Showdown's probably going to be pretty good when it comes time. I will gladly chump this 3-3. Chump. Okay, passing on back. It's more land. Do we want to talk about 26? Probably not, right? We'll get the Restless Vents down for the turn. We will have the 6 available when it comes time, but now we're not seeing a lot of our top-end creatures like we did in the last game. In the last game, we saw a lot of the top-end. It's kind of been like all over the place. We could just push the Questing Druid, but I think we're just going to wait for the board wipe instead. Right, because we're not, like, in danger right now. And the opponent could have some serious setup over there, man. They could, like, just start to pop off. Go wide really fast, potentially. There they go. Yeah. Appraiser could see a creature. Pia Nalar is going to generate a 1-1. We're definitely going to chump on the ground again. Voltage Surge. No chump for us. Unfortunately, we would have much preferred them to see a creature off the Appraiser, because now we are going to be taking 7 total. Down to 15. Oh, 8 total. Maybe more, too. They still have a Jetmir's Garden open over there. Well, Seat of the Empire could prevent a little bit of this. I'm just going to wipe the board next turn, though. Yeah, we could have taken out the Pia Nalar, but, like, that's just 2 damage that we'd prevent. Wedding announcement. Okay. So, Final Showdown. What do you guys think? Instant speed for a reason? You guys want to do it on their turn? What kind of protection could they have? They don't have blue. I think this is a worthwhile. This is worthwhile, right? I hope so. I hope so, because they might go like Appraiser again or something. All right, let's see what happens. I'm nervous. I don't want to get punished for keeping this showdown for the opponent's turn here. It's going to be an Inner Sun. Wow. All right. Well, I guess that's a problem. That kind of just helps them get around the board wipe beautifully, as now they're going to be able to continuously keep their board nice and stocked up. They see a Pianalar here. I think this is heavily leaning towards the opponents, guys, until we can actually pull something off. The second Rakdos is actually pretty bad, huh? I guess we just play it then. And finally get this Mirrex down successfully, too. And we only have 2 open, so we can't do Wedding Announcement on the same turn, but we'll have Seat of the Empire available. We'll do, like, I don't know, a Black Source on the Mirrex, right? And then keep those 2 open there. It's not bad. It's not too bad. We have, like, no way to give it indestructible and stuff, though, so we can keep Rakdos around. We might be able to pull off enough big in-air damage, huh? If Rakdos dies, that is pretty bad. It is Nahiri's Warcrafting. Let's see what they see. Oh, it's exactly 5. Never mind. Okay, and they're going for the Questing Druid this turn. They do find mana and a Torch the Tower. They do get a chance to play the Questing Druid as well, so it's going to be an extra Thopter there too. And we don't have Seat of the Empire because we don't have our legendary creature on the board. They get a Discover 5 here. Bro. I'll tell you what. Oh, Vein Ripper. There you are, buddy. Hello. That would have been much better to see last turn. The Mirrex was the 3rd black source. We don't have Vein Ripper for the turn. Oh no, guys. It totally feels like we're seeing things out of order, huh? Restless Vents could send the Vein Ripper to the grave. We still have Push and Pull. If we want to, like, bring back the Rakdos for the turn, that doesn't seem great at all, dude. I am pondering, my friend. Like, we're not dead next turn is the thing. I still want to keep the Push and the Pull. I still want to keep the Push and Pull, but we could take out the Pianalar right now before they get more Thopters. I probably should, but then we won't have Seat of the Empire. But it's probably worth it, right? Just for the sake of survival. Kind of breaks my heart, but we could see a 3rd black source off the top, I suppose. If we had a way to actually have that Vein Ripper in the grave. There's a big reason we got 4 Vein Rippers and only a couple of the Rakdos, huh? And seeing both Rakdos this game kind of makes me want to drop it to 1 and just go up another random creature. So they do opt for the Torch the Tower just to get rid of our chump blocker and get us swing for 4. Hopefully we get to take out the Druid with the Seat before they get it above the 4 damage mark too. They go for the Cycle on the Garden and they get the Discover 5 on the Inner Sun. So the opponent is just generating value after value. Rocco. Oh, buddy. Hey, there's our 3rd black source. Well, I think this is a GG, unfortunately, guys. I guess we could power up Restless Vents and have a blocker. Maybe we survive. No witnesses. Bro. Wow. What the deck is showcasing right now is it's more than suited to deal with a lot of these builds that we're going up against. But we're just kind of seeing things in a relatively lousy order, I would say, huh? Let's see. Let's see if we can survive the turn. Trump blocker from the Wedding Announcement. They got 2 in the air. We lose our 1 Trump blocker, Voltage Surge. Powers up the Druid to a 4/4. The problem. Definitely a problem. They have an instant speed thing, then Seat of the Empire doesn't hit. 1, 2, we'll still have 3. We're going to go Restless Vents and see if they go something instant speed on the Vents. before the block? They do not. We pass it to the blocking step, right? We block the Rocco, and then we go Seat of the Empire on the Questing Druid. And it's a gamble. Let's see it, opponent. We could lose right here, right now. So we could have blocked the Questing Druid and taken 4 down to 1. Oh, it hits. Beautiful. And we have a block. We're taking 2 down to 3. I guess we could still die. We do still die. Oh, man. But actually, yeah, I guess they could have done... Hold up. So they could have done it didn't end up mattering, of course, but the Heartflame Slash for 3 damage on, like, the vents before the block. And then, like, the Questing Druid would have gotten an extra counter, too. So we got completely devastated, huh? Well, I don't know. I honestly, we're going to go one more. We're going to push it a little over time for this one, because we didn't actually get to reanimate anything yet, which definitely feels bad, right? I don't think we reanimated anything. The deck's just kind of been doing a mid-range thing, and we're kind of seeing things like in incredibly wrong orders here. So hopefully we can actually see, like, when you are playing Reanimator, you are kind of anticipating the fact that it's a bit of a combo build, right? You're kind of trying to combo off, get things into the grave, bring them on back at an efficient amount of time. No white source here, guys. Last game of the evening. Since we're already doing relatively bad, I say we push the deck to its absolute limits one more time, see what happens. We have a ton of white sources packed in, a ton of land packed in general. Our early removal could, of course, help us out. A little bit of life gain on the Virtue, too, so I don't mind it. And I definitely like seeing the double Vein Ripper in hand. Etali, okay. That's our top end. We just plug that into the graveyard real quick, and we'll do the Reanimator thing. Okay, 27 mana. We have a good chance of seeing some next turn on time. Not seeing the white source on time for the wedding announcement is definitely just a testament to us not dropping the mulligan. Plaza of Heroes. The Punisher, huh? Maybe some Grixis Reanimator from the opponent here. Hey, there's the mana. All right. Let's start with the Surveil. Swamp. I'm going to keep that on top just in case. You never know. We might not see mana right away, and getting a turn 6 Vein Ripper sounds pretty good to me. With our 1 white source, we are very likely just going to play the wedding announcement next turn, because it wouldn't make much sense to drop the Illicit Masquerade, so. Opponent drops their 4th. Ooh, I do not know what you do. Well, nothing else to do for the turn outside of the Restless Vents. Whenever you commit a crime, you may pay 1. If you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. I think it's wedding announcement. Like, get that down, get that established. Get some trump blockers. We could have swung with Vents. Discarded one of our top end. It's like, it has Menace is the thing, so we could have gotten around the 1 blocker for now. I don't know. I think just like establishing announcement, even though it's out of order again, right? Like, we've been, like, the whole time today, we've kind of been seeing things in a pretty bad order overall. I'm going to chump while we have the ability to chump. No, I'm not actually. No blocks. It's only 3. We're surviving well enough. Sunset Revelry. Not bad. Not bad at all. Because now we're getting a lot onto the board here. We don't have enough to power up the vents. This is going to be tricky, but I think we're okay for now. I'm rooting for this Illicit Masquerade. It'd be really cool to see it do something today. So Grixis crime, right? Invasion of Innistrad. So they do commit a crime here. Some of our, I guess a board wipe wouldn't be terrible. Getting rid of one of our 1/1s. Get a couple 2/2s. They're actually 3/3s because the Gisa is actually alive here. They do pay the 1 off the dealer. Looks pretty sick, opponent. Grixis crime, huh? I wonder if I have any of these. Dealer of Death. Hopefully they end up swinging because I do want to try to swing with the vents to actually plug things into our grave. Oh, they're gonna swing at the invasion, huh? Oh, I love how much that fits with the Hellraiser. That's actually really cool. Alright, let's not let them flip that just yet. Even if we see a board wipe off the top, we don't have double wipe for like the no more witnesses or anything. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Because this flips, gets them a couple more zombies, and then when they untap, we're in big trouble. It's going to be a Rakdos joins up, guys. It's been really hard to get things into the graveyard effectively for this game, huh? We're going to get another thing on the wedding announcement. I have a little bit better blockers. These have Menace, by the way. If we plug things into the grave with the Restless Vents... Wait, we can't. We don't have double red. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. We don't have a great way to put anything into the graveyard. That's not good, man. So no attacks. Wedding announcement flips. We do, like I said, we have decent blocks here. Seeing things out of order, at some point we have to say, like, it might just very well be how the deck is put together for sure. So we might want to just consider more ways to put these things into the grave, but like we have all 4 bitter triumphs, and we have a bitter reunion too. I'm going to try to flash this down. Looks like they're afraid of our open sources over here. I'll drop the Illicit Masquerade, see if it even lands, right? They do have an open blue source. We're going to let them flip the Invasion of Innistrad. So untap source off the top might mean the Vein Ripper comes down, which could be pretty good. But honestly, we'd much rather just actually do something that reanimates for the turn. So we could double block, take out one of these. The opponent double checks. Yep, we don't have anything in the grave. Yeah, I'll double block. Actually, never mind. Let's just let them flip this. It flips either way, and this is another instance of maybe we see a board wipe off the top, maybe we don't. Again, no more witnesses. Our mana's holding us up this time round. These also have Menace. This is very scary. Final showdown. Well, we definitely don't have triple white on the board, huh? That's too bad. That's too bad, huh? What really sucks, too, is not actually having the double red for the Restless Vents. At 27 mana, too? Alright. I guess we pass it back. We could have, like, everyone lose their abilities next turn. That would make them lose the Menace, right? But that doesn't really matter too much. Alright, let's see what happens. Technically, we have Final Showdown's top 2 spree abilities available. This could have been really sick, though, right? Like, we have a lot of really neat synergies packed in. And they also have this ability here on Deluge of the Dead. The bottom ability, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature, they get a 2/2 zombie. Really, really like how that pairs with the Gisa here. Really neat. Magda, yeah, dude, just straight up Grixis crime looks really cool. I'm trying to think, like, mana off the top, like, is there actually going to be a way through after the fact? Like what, Vein Ripper dies to spot removal, and then we chump with one of these ones with the imposter counter to bring it back? Like, that could be okay. It doesn't look like... Okay, and they are going to just swing cautiously here. So Final Showdown isn't doing too much unless we wanted to give Indestructible. I guess we'll try, right? We'll try a double block, take 9. If we can get rid of one of these zombies at least. And then the one that's going to be targeting first, we'll give Indestructible to. Wait, how do we know the order? How do we know the order? Choose a creature you control, it gains Indestructible until end of turn. Well, we'll take a gamble, huh? We'll say left to right. And say that the leftmost was the one that's going to be taking the majority of the damage here. Take the gamble. Let's see it. That is how it ended up working out that time round. Okay. Mana. It's tapped mana. But it's mana. And it's Surveil, so we could Surveil a big thing to the grave. It's possible. Path of Peril. Dude, if we can survive next turn, we should keep that, right? Don't have anything to reanimate. This has been brutal. I think we have to change something in the list, but I also can't tell if we're just getting a little unlucky too. And target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's not worth playing this, right? I don't believe so. I don't believe it is. We just hold it all back and we still can't power up the Restless Vents. We're in danger, bro. They have so much mana, so many cards in hand. Just a couple pieces of spot removal and a full swing ends this. And we're at 14 too, so. This is a lot of tapped land packed into the list, so maybe we could consider like readjusting the mana base a little bit, but overall, we should be relatively safe. A lot of early game removal to try to help counterbalance that. With 27 mana too, being stuck on 5 is going to happen every now and then. We can't say being stuck on 5 was necessarily unlucky, as there's still 45 cards remaining in our list. Okay, playing it safe again. I believe we're going to go for the double block and take 6. See what ends up happening here. We'll still have 1 with the imposter counter on it, so we do end up taking it out with only losing 1 of these. Illicit Masquerade has the ability, but we have nothing to bring back, unfortunately. Just pretty rough, man. Like, honestly, all it would have taken was seeing one of our Bitter Triumphs, maybe actually hitting one of these key piece creatures, getting a Vein Ripper into the grave, having some good blocks. Like, there's just so much that we could have seen that we just didn't. Okay, so full power Path of Peril takes out our creatures. Oh, I should have chumped then. Power up Vents, we don't have enough mana for a 3 mana Path of Peril. We do have the Vein Ripper for the turn, but going down to 18, it's just, it has to be the attempted board wipe, right? So I suppose no attacks just in case they counter the board wipe, but then we die anyways because we're only at 8. Okay, no attacks, unfortunately. Let's see it. I am terrified of a counterspell. It is, in fact, a counterspell. No, opponent. We still have a couple chump blockers, but a full swing is all it's going to take here for sure. Now, it was a negate, too, which means our Vein Ripper would have hit the board, man. Oh, dude. I definitely feel like we got a little unlucky today, but, you know, it might have just been me and how I was playing it out, too. Like, there were definitely there were a lot of options, actually. Not some options. There were a lot of options. Okay, and they go ahead, get all the crime going again here. This is definitely a full swing from the opponent if I've ever seen one, right? Like, the zombies have menace, these zombies have menace. They were able to counter on our turn, so these zombies untapped on time too. Not being able to reanimate, I think, you know, that's just going to happen with a deck list that's based around a very tricky card to actually pull off here. And we will block the Gisa. That's fine. Good game, opponent. That's rough, huh? 20% total win rate. I guess that balances out yesterday's 80% win rate, right? Tough time, dude. Very tough time. Climbing backwards in gold. Let's go ahead, take a look at this deck list again and see if we can kind of figure this out a little bit, huh? We went overtime. We actually hit the hour mark today. I think that says something about the list. It was pretty fun to pilot. Oh, it totally felt unlucky, even though I don't like blaming luck, but it totally felt like it, huh? Couple things. I'm going to drop down to 1 Rakdos. Seeing 2 Rakdos, that kind of was awful. It's not going to happen all the time, but like that didn't feel great, because if we would have just seen a different creature that game, we could have pulled off a really cool pool. So what other creature do we want to go up instead of the Rakdos? Not really sure right now, but we probably want to keep it in the maybe the same colors. That way we don't mess up the mana base too much, which honestly held us up a little bit today, didn't it? The final showdown. You know, something you don't consider when you're playing with it, when you do go for the destroy all creatures, it does require triple white. 6 mana, triple white. That's something I'd never really considered with it. A second pest control would be an option to drop that final showdown and just go up that second pest control. And I don't think we want 28 mana either. I think that would be pretty bad. I think we were going to see our 6th and our 7th in that last game eventually regardless. So maybe it came, I mean, in that one, it came like 3 turns too late, huh? So maybe 28 is something to consider, but probably not. I think the final showdown could probably be dropped just to go up a 3rd Path of Peril. Okay, definitely keep final showdown. Like, you know, definitely consider it. But I'm going to drop it. And we're going to go up that Path of Peril. On that note, now if we go up like another black late game creature, we could probably drop a plains and go up a swamp. Yeah, dude, we're changing this up because it can't all be luck, right? Like, pretty much every game that we lost, everything felt like it was just out of order. Which is saying something about the curve and like how we're actually trying to establish things. So more discard. First of all, like once we finally found the big creatures, we were really struggling to just get those creatures into the grave. So something else that helps us discard, is there like a top end thing even? Like I would say 4 or up. That's a creature that's still worthwhile reanimating, but also helps us get things into the grave. So Junji could be interesting. Or just double checking some of the other things though. Some of these like bigger things too have channel abilities. So like we could do that, grab a plane, like Sunblade Samurai, for example. Gain 2, it does plug something into the grave that we wouldn't mind bringing back, I suppose, right? It could be like Trumpeting Carnosaur style. There's some stuff that we wouldn't mind discovering off of it, and it's also a little bit... a little bit of removal. Carnosaur, it brings itself into the grave for this style of list, but we're really just splashing the red too. Tough decisions, guys. Definitely something needs changed, but I'm not really sure on the spot right now. So not too much that actually plugs things into our grave. Maybe it is Connoisseur. It kind of justifies more of the splash of red. Our top end is just one-ofs galore, and that kind of makes sense to me too. The Rakdos joins up, wasn't able to do anything. Illicit Masquerade wasn't able to do anything. Push and Pull wasn't able to do anything. Like, you know, we got 5 games in and we weren't able to actually do the thing. So, like, something needs changed, but what, right? So, extra Path of Peril. Based on the games we saw, I think Path of Peril is going to be fine and dandy. There's going to be so many moments where you just drop it for 3 and be very happy about it. There's going to be so many moments in this list where you drop it for 6 and also be very happy about it. So, with those changes, we actually were able to stay pretty true to how the mana base is set up. 60% black mana, 40% white mana, 20% red mana here should still be fine for the... Let's do this. Let's drop a plains, go up a swamp too, right? Before I forget, that's something I mentioned doing. That should be fine for the mana base. Let's do some rearranging here so I can see, because we definitely want to take a look-see. Our white sources. There's our red sources. And then for black and white, which is the majority of the deck list, we have these, and the Restless Fortress. And then for the... I'm making a mess, guys. I'm gonna move those over again. For the white and the red, we have just a little bit. Again, it's just like a splash of red, and you can see like now we have even less white to worry about in the list too, since we dropped the final showdown. So that makes sense to me. And then we have the black and the red here, and in the Restless Vents too, which Restless Vents, it's obviously trying to help us discard as well, so it makes sense to me to actually have those two. The double Mirrex. I still like the double Mirrex, actually, I think, and that's kind of part of the mana fixing too. Okay, I think the mana still makes sense for our changes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the final deck list again. I know that a lot of the one-ofs might not be very appealing. Something to consider too, with only 5 cards that reanimate. It's tough to say like, oh, well, drop the Rakdos joins up. Like, what's this doing in here? There's not enough legendaries. It's tough to say that. What would we go up? Another Masquerade? I think it might just be too janky, too hard to actually pull things off. We're asking for too much to happen at any given time. Of course, we're not going to drop it. That takes out the whole heart of the deck, which is the whole reason. Like, that was the comment suggestion. Try to make something that makes Masquerade work. We're going to keep those. We're going to keep the push and pulls for sure. But like, could we drop the Rakdos joins up and just go up another Connoisseur? More early removal, more ways to actually just get your big creatures into the grave. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I think I'm going to do it. Yep. Let's see what that looks like, though. Almost 60%, almost 40%, and 20%. Hopefully the splash of red still works then. Tough decisions, guys. I actually think I like this a little bit better, though. Let me know in the comments, do you like this a little better too? And while you're down there, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Oh, 1 hour, 7 minutes. This might be my longest video ever. Huh. Hey, well, if you made it this far for real, y'all are champions, huh? As I like to say, enough rambling. I will see you in the next video.